So we're working with a client recently, and they had a challenge where they had to go and audit a quite a large or a number of large processing plants that have been mothballed for a while. So they have to go around to each individual piece of equipment within these large plants and validate and verify visually, as well as doing other inspections, of whether or not that particular piece of equipment is serviceable, and some commentary in terms around what that might take to be able to get that back online. Ultimately, they want to collect all this data to provide to their clients so that they can actually determine whether or not it's worthwhile refurbishing this particular facility or just demolishing it and starting again. Right? Big piece of work. How are you going to collect all that data across thousands and thousands of data points across a multi-story, and in some cases a facility that covers hundreds or thousands of square meters of floor space and other pieces of equipment. So they're literally thousands of data points they need to collect. Now, traditionally, what you would do is you'd run around because they have to take photos for each one of these particular items, write notes associated with each one of those, and it's a bit of a challenge, if I'm honest. You take photos, you take notes, you record what photos are associated with a piece of equipment. Maybe you're doing it by pen and paper, etc., and then you've got to go sit for hours processing this and collating the data and putting it into some sort of system. Usually you would use Microsoft Excel with a spreadsheet, and you just go through that process because it's a once-off thing. It's not something they're going to do on a regular basis. So you don't want to build or buy a complex, expensive piece of software to do it. Thankfully, they're one of our clients, which means that we were able to help them identify an opportunity or a piece of software and functionality within their Microsoft 365 ecosystem. They're already paying for it, right? What we said and what we worked out is that they could use Microsoft Lists, mobile phone with an app, the Microsoft Lists app loaded on it, and set up some little bit of Power BI and other things and some automations that could actually go and help them solve this. They don't have to go and buy any expensive software. They've already got it. So what we showed them was that this is how you create a list. Now, Microsoft Lists gives you the ability to create pretty much a data set of stuff where you can collect and constrain what sort of data you want. You can use text fields, date fields, people fields that's assigned with people within your organization. You can put geocoded data and address details. You can have lookups to other lists. So, for example, in this case, they might use the facility as one particular item of data, and then the location or floor or area for another set to help try to classify with that. And that has even more metadata associated with it, metadata being your fields or columns, right? So we can create this in a list. Cool, but that's stuck in a web browser, right, on this website, that you need to be able to access that. That's a bit of a problem, right? And then how do we then solve the problem around the photographs we have to take for each item? This is one of the advantages of putting lists on these things. And the other challenge they had to sort of deal with, and this is another key limitation, if you like, but do they have internet access? In this case, in most of these facilities, they do, but it's a little sketchy once you get deep in the bowels of those particular operations. Yes, but we can solve that. Stick a Wi-Fi repeater up on one of the towers, or even a couple of these that they can connect to, that then can convert that to a 4G or a 5G signal. They can get now internet access. This means that they get to run around the plant taking photos and snaps of each one that's associated and attached directly to the particular record, and they can update all their fields. Kind of cool, yeah? They didn't have to build a special bespoke application. They just had to use the tools that they had available now. They just didn't know that they were there. That's where we come in. We could show them how to do this. And this is going to solve so many problems very, very quickly for them, without a lot of effort or engineering or architectural work or even buying expensive software to go and deliver and solve this problem, but not only for this particular organization, this engineering firm that's being tasked with this, but also the end client. At the end of that, all that data can be extracted and made available or accessible, or in this case, we're going to potentially create a Power BI dashboard that shows a map of the particular plant and all the different parts of the facility, and where you can hover over certain key points or dot points on the image that shows you the image of the item, as well as some other color codes to show whether or not it's serviceable, not serviceable, just it's totally trash, right? So you can quickly visualize what's going on. At the end of that, we can also create a report that gives you an assessment that says 80% of the particular items are serviceable, there's 10% that are not serviceable, and the rest are just junk you're going to have to replace. Now we can start having some visualizations, all because we built it in a list and made that data accessible and then put it onto an app, or made it accessible on an app that you can take around on a handy device just like this as you wander around a plant to collect that data. This is the power of Microsoft 365. And this is why I say that we can help save you time, money, and your sanity just by using the tools that are available. You just have to ask the question and we can help solve that problem for you. If this is of interest and you would like to learn more, please get in touch. Google my name or check me out on LinkedIn.